The shock of Jimmy Uso's tragic passing continues to ripple through the WWE universe, and part 2 of this devastating story dives deeper into the aftermath. How the locker room, the fans, and most importantly, Jey Uso himself are struggling to find strength in the middle of unimaginable loss. As news spread overnight, WWE headquarters in Stamford reportedly went into a state of mourning. Executives and staff gathered together, many unable to contain their tears. A company-wide email was sent out confirming the devastating news, and immediately, officials began shifting focus from upcoming storylines to honoring the memory of Jimmy Uso. According to backstage insiders, the mood within WWE has been described as the darkest day in recent memory. Superstars who grew up alongside the Usos, who traveled with them on the road, who fought wars against them in the ring, are sharing their grief publicly. Xavier Woods of The New Day, one of Jimmy and Jey's fiercest rivals, took to Twitter to say, "We fought like brothers, we laughed like brothers, and now we cry like brothers. Jimmy, you'll never be forgotten." Big E, still recovering from his own near-career-ending injury, posted an emotional video tribute, his voice breaking as he recalled road stories that showed the brotherly bond Jimmy shared with everyone around him. Backstage in WWE, there is talk of dedicating an entire episode of SmackDown as a memorial. Producers are planning video packages showcasing Jimmy's evolution, from his early debut with Jey, to their iconic feuds with The Shield, The New Day, and countless others, to their legendary run alongside Roman Reigns as the Bloodline. Sources indicate that WWE is considering inviting Jimmy's family into the ring for a 10-bell salute, a gesture of ultimate respect reserved only for legends and fallen heroes. But perhaps no one is feeling this pain more acutely than Jey Uso. Reports state that Jey has not spoken much since the news. Family members reveal he has locked himself away, grieving in silence, unable to process the thought of stepping into the ring alone. For Jey, Jimmy wasn't just a partner, he was literally half of his identity. They were the Usos. Together. Day one-ish. The thought of Jey Uso without Jimmy Uso is a reality too cruel to face. Roman Reigns, devastated by the loss, has reportedly reached out to Jey multiple times. One insider revealed that Reigns broke down during a private conversation, saying, "We built this bloodline together, but now it feels like we've lost the heart of it." Paul Heyman, known for his ability to speak with passion, has remained silent, posting only a single image of the Usos holding the tag titles high with the caption, "Forever the Ones." The Rock, who has always celebrated his family's legacy, shared an emotional Instagram post late into the night. A picture of him with the Usos during a backstage moment was accompanied by a heartfelt message, "Jimmy, your laughter lit up every room. Your spirit carried the pride of our family. We will keep your memory alive, always. Love you, USO." Fans, meanwhile, are processing this loss by revisiting the Usos' legendary catalog of matches. WWE Network has seen a massive surge in viewership of USO matches, with classics like their Hell in a Cell war with the New Day and their Bloodline battles being replayed endlessly as fans look to hold on to every memory Jimmy gave them. Hashtags such as #ThankYouJimmy and #WeAreTheOnes have been trending worldwide as fans unite in grief. For many, what cuts deepest is the thought of Jey Uso having to stand in the ring for the first time without his brother. That first entrance, that first promo, that first walk down the ramp without Jimmy by his side, it's almost unbearable to imagine. WWE officials are reportedly preparing to give Jey the space and time he needs, with no immediate pressure to return to action. As one official stated, "This isn't about storylines anymore. This is about family." Officials are said to be scrambling to restructure upcoming storylines, with plans for a full memorial on SmackDown or Raw to celebrate Jimmy's life and career. Superstars across brands are expected to deliver heartfelt messages, while classic matches and unforgettable moments from the Usos' journey will play for the world to see. But the most anticipated moment, the one that fans already know will break them emotionally, is when Jey Uso himself speaks. When he stands in that ring, microphone in hand, tears in his eyes, trying to find words for the unthinkable. How will Jey, who has never lived a day without his twin by his side, be able to pour his heart out? That's the moment that fans are waiting for, dreading, and already preparing to cry through. Beyond WWE, tributes have already begun pouring in from legends of the industry. The Rock, cousin to Jimmy and Jey, has posted a deeply emotional message, praising Jimmy's energy, heart, and love for his family. Hall of Famers like Rikishi, their father, have been seen in deep grief, sharing pictures of Jimmy as a child, remembering the boy who grew into a man who inspired millions. Current stars like Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Becky Lynch, and Cody Rhodes have taken to social media to share their condolences and disbelief. And the fans who grew up watching the Usos dominate every corner of WWE, are reliving the memories. From their colorful face paint days, to the ruthless aggression of their heel turn, to their reign as the ones in the bloodline, Jimmy Uso touched lives far beyond the squared circle. He wasn't just a wrestler. He was a performer who made people believe, who made people feel, who made every fan proud to chant, "UCEO," with all their energy. But perhaps the most heartbreaking part of all is knowing that Jimmy Uso had so much more to give. His career was still thriving. His story was still being written. And now, in the blink of an eye, it has been cut short. The what-ifs will haunt fans and his family forever. What if the Usos had another historic run in them? What if Jimmy had more singles opportunities ahead? What if there were more moments, more memories, more history still to be made? That's the cruelty of tragedy. It doesn't ask permission. It doesn't give warning. It just takes. And tonight, it has taken Jimmy Uso away from the wrestling world. For Jey, the mourning has only begun. His Instagram has already been flooded with messages of support, but also images of him crying, broken, posting tributes that cut deep into the soul. One post reads, "My twin, my heart, my brother. Day one to the last day. I don't know how to breathe without you." These are not just words, they are the cries of a man whose world has been ripped apart. The WWE Universe will never forget Jimmy Uso. His name will echo in arenas forever. His matches will live on in highlight reels. His energy will live on in every fan who ever threw up the ones in the air. But more importantly, his spirit will live on through Jey, through his family, and through the fans who loved him. This isn't just heartbreaking news. This is a nightmare that fans never thought they'd see. The Usos were supposed to retire together, go into the Hall of Fame side by side, gray hair under their caps, raising one finger in the air, brothers forever. But now, one brother must walk into that Hall of Fame alone. As the night goes on, more details will come out. More tributes will be shared. More tears will be shed. But nothing can erase the pain of this moment. As the days pass since the tragic accident that claimed the life of Jimmy Uso, the WWE Universe prepares itself for one of the most emotional nights in wrestling history, the official tribute show dedicated to Jimmy Uso's legacy. This is part 3 of the unfolding heartbreak, and it focuses on the tribute, the farewell, and the impact that will live on forever. WWE has officially announced that this week's SmackDown will be a special memorial edition honoring Jimmy Uso. The entire night is being dedicated to celebrating his life, his career, and his contributions to wrestling. Fans are bracing themselves for a night filled with tears, tributes, and unforgettable memories. Arena workers have already begun preparing the stage. Reports say the show will open with the entire WWE roster, Raw, SmackDown, and even NXT talent, lined up on the stage, united in grief. The bell will toll 10 times, a haunting tradition that never fails to pierce the heart of every fan. Jimmy Uso's picture will appear on the Titantron, his smile lighting up the screen as thousands of fans hold up, "We are the ones," signs in his honor. The show is expected to feature a series of tribute packages chronicling Jimmy's career. Fans will relive his early days with Jey as the energetic, face-painted Usos who brought color and passion to every match. They will see the evolution into ruthless competitors, redefining tag team wrestling with their athleticism and chemistry. They will witness the Bloodline era, where Jimmy stood tall alongside Roman Reigns and Jey, cementing their place in history as one of WWE's most powerful factions. But the most anticipated moment will be Jey Uso's farewell segment. WWE has cleared significant time on the show for Jey to step into the ring and address the world. Sources reveal that Jey has been struggling to prepare for this, breaking down in tears every time he attempts to put his thoughts into words. Family members close to Jey say he has written and rewritten his speech, unsure how to capture a lifetime of memories in a few minutes. Fans are already preparing themselves for a deeply emotional speech. Jey is expected to speak from the heart, addressing not just Jimmy as a brother, but as his twin, his partner, his best friend. This will not be a scripted promo. It will be real. It will be raw. And it will be the moment that defines this tribute show. Superstars from across generations are also scheduled to share their memories. Roman Reigns, broken by the loss, is rumored to be appearing in a rare out-of-character tribute, speaking directly from his heart rather than as the tribal chief. The New Day will share their respect, reminding the world that while they were rivals in the ring, they were brothers outside of it. Legends like John Cena and Randy Orton are expected to send messages, honoring Jimmy as both a competitor and a man who carried himself with dignity and love for the business. One of the most powerful tributes is expected to come from Rikishi, Jimmy and Jey's father. The WWE Hall of Famer is set to appear in the ring, struggling through unimaginable pain to honor his son. His speech will not only reflect on Jimmy's career but also on the man Jimmy was behind the scenes, a father, a son, a cousin, a friend. To honor Jimmy's impact, WWE has also planned a special main event tribute match. Reports indicate that the match will feature some of Jimmy's closest friends and rivals, with the goal not to settle scores, but to celebrate his style, his passion, and his influence. The show will likely close with a final video package of Jimmy's greatest moments, set to a song chosen by his family, as fans chant, "UCEO," one last time in unison. Outside the arena, fans are organizing candlelight vigils, wearing USO shirts, and holding up custom signs. WWE merchandise shops have already sold out of Jimmy Uso tribute gear, with all proceeds reportedly going to his family. This is about healing. But there is also a haunting question lingering. How will Jey Uso find the strength to move forward? For over a decade, Jey has been defined by his bond with Jimmy. Every victory, every championship, every heartbreak was shared. Without Jimmy, Jey is not just dealing with the grief of a lost brother, he is facing the terrifying task of rediscovering who he is without the twin who made him whole. The second chapter of this tragic story is a reminder of just how much Jimmy Uso meant, not only to Jey, not only to the bloodline, but to the entire WWE universe. His loss is not a headline. It's not just another story. It is the kind of wound that changes everything. And as Jey Uso continues to mourn, as the WWE locker room continues to grieve, and as fans worldwide continue to process this heartbreak, one thing remains clear: Jimmy Uso's legacy will never fade. His energy, his laughter, his charisma, his battles, and his bond with his brother will forever be etched into the soul of wrestling history. Jade Cargill wasn't finished at Elimination Chamber. The moment she left Naomi gasping on the mat, clutching her ribs in pain, Jade stood tall in the center of that steel monstrosity, glaring down at the cameras as if to send a direct warning not only to Naomi but to every woman in WWE. The brutality of that attack was just the beginning, and what came after sent shockwaves across the wrestling world. Because as soon as the dust settled, Jade grabbed a mic, inside the chamber, surrounded by broken bodies, and unleashed words that cut deeper than the beating she had just delivered. With the crowd booing, she smirked and spat venom into the microphone, locking eyes with the camera lens, speaking directly to Naomi, who was being helped out of the chamber by medical officials. And Jade's words, they were nothing short of chilling. "You thought you could stand in my way, Naomi. You thought you were the chosen one. Look at you now. Broken, embarrassed, exposed. This is my world now, and you're just a victim in it." Those words weren't just a promo. They were a declaration of war. And let me tell you something, the entire WWE universe felt it. Social media instantly exploded. Hashtag pray for Naomi trended worldwide, but right beside it, hashtag Jade Cargill was plastered across the timeline, with thousands of fans arguing, screaming, and venting. Some said Jade went too far. Others said Naomi deserved it after months of pushing her buttons. But everyone agreed on one thing. Jade Cargill is dangerous, and she's not here to play nice. And this wasn't just about Elimination Chamber. This was the beginning of a deeper story, one that stretches back months. Remember when Naomi was celebrated as the veteran who always shined her glow and showed respect? She welcomed Jade when she first arrived, even endorsed her as a powerhouse the division needed. But Jade didn't want endorsement. Jade didn't want respect. Jade wanted dominance. And Naomi, by simply existing as a respected veteran, became the symbol Jade had to destroy. What makes this even more gut-wrenching is the backstage fallout. Reports are flying in that Naomi, after the assault, had to undergo urgent medical evaluations. Bruised ribs, possible internal injuries. Wwe'S medical team is keeping everything tight-lipped, but insiders say Naomi was in no condition to leave the arena without assistance. Cameras caught her husband, Jimmy Uso, visibly shaken, pacing outside the trainer's room. This wasn't just another storyline beat. This was a moment that blurred reality, a moment where you couldn't tell if Jade's assault was planned to be that brutal or if she simply went rogue. And here's where things got even more chaotic. As Naomi lay on the medical table, Jade stormed through the backstage area like a lioness on the hunt. She wasn't finished. She wanted to send an even clearer message. She confronted a group of women's division stars, Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, and even Asuka, snapping at them. "This is your warning. Stay out of my way, or Naomi won't be the only one carried out on a stretcher." Security swarmed her, but Jade's rage was uncontainable. Even when officials tried to hold her back, she laughed, shouting at the top of her lungs, "This is the era of Jade Cargill. Get used to it." That clip instantly went viral. The boos from the live audience didn't matter. The headlines didn't matter. What mattered was that Jade had stamped herself as the most feared woman in WWE overnight. But let's not forget, Naomi isn't someone who just stays down. She's been through wars before. Injuries, betrayals, setbacks, every single time, Naomi has risen back stronger. And while right now she's hurt, humiliated, and possibly sidelined, the fire burning in her eyes as she was carried out of the chamber said it all. This isn't over. Not by a long shot. And that's the terrifying part. Because Jade isn't going to stop. She made it clear. She doesn't want Naomi to just lose, she wants Naomi gone. Retired. The outpouring of love is unlike anything seen in years. The Rock, who has confirmed he will appear via live satellite during the show, is expected to give one of the most emotional speeches of his career. His message will connect Jimmy's legacy not only to WWE but to the proud Samoan heritage they both shared. This family has given wrestling its heart and soul, The Rock reportedly said during rehearsals, and Jimmy was one of its brightest flames. Part 3 of this heartbreaking journey shows that Jimmy Uso's passing is more than just the loss of a wrestler. It is the loss of a brother, a son, a father, and a legend in the making. The tribute show will serve as both a celebration and a farewell, and fans are already preparing to cry, to cheer, and to honor Jimmy one last time. The legacy of the Usos will forever stand as one of the greatest in wrestling history. And though Jimmy is gone, the memories, the battles, the chants, and the love will live forever. For Jey, for his family, and for millions of fans, this tribute will not mark the end, but the beginning of keeping Jimmy Uso's spirit alive.